chaos in our lives.
Yes, we're very used to having to keep closeness, you know, through these means because
Exactly.
I remember when I was a kid and we immigrated and on telephone, you know, calling somebody on the phone was so expensive.
Yeah.
And so you had very limited ways of keeping connected. So I don't complain about anything of like this.
Exactly.
Great.
Cowrie, can you hear us yet?
Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
Okay.
I'm here.
All right. It looks like, yeah, 10:38. Looks like everybody's here. I'll just keep admitting people if they come in late. But, oh my gosh, this is so cool. I guess I get to do my introduction. That over there is Bhavna. I'm not sure if that's how it works on our screen. Everybody knows each other. It's so wonderful. And we're pretty dang excited about what to do in Zoom, right? We will be hosting more of these. They're going to be occurring Wednesdays, Saturdays, and Mondays. So they'll be posted both our Instagram and our Facebook, and we're just now be getting them on our website too. So besides what we can learn how to do, I think it's just so fun to be able to see each other again like this. And we can pretend we're sitting around a table at a museum or gallery. Anything you want to pretend, that's all okay. But it's lovely to see you here. So at this time, what we'll do is everyone will mute. And then if you want to go to speaker view, Bhavna's image will come up big and we'll be able to follow her along. If you have a question, write it in the chat. I'll be following the chat and then I will unmute and tell Bhavna what your question is. Or you can unmute yourself. You know, you can do that too. There's only 12 people. We were worried there might be a bazillion. So feel free to unmute yourself and ask your question. I think that's going to be better.
Yeah.
Anybody have any questions about that?
Oh.
Nope. Okay. Go ahead and mute yourselves and here we go. Okay, Bhavna.
Okay. All right. So, hi everyone. So great to make chai with you. And today is actually a little warm for chai, but in India you drink chai all year round. So I'm not going to worry about how hot it is outside today. I think some of you may want to drink it with ice cubes, but I don't recommend that, at least for the first try. So I'm going to give you a family recipe today, and I'm going to make like the most complicated chai I've ever made because I wanted to show you a little bit of everything. But chai is like, chai is very, very particular to families and also very particular to like individuals in the family. Everybody makes the chai differently. So if you go to somebody's house and they make chai a little bit differently than what we're going to do today, that's just kind of totally expected. And some make very basic chai, some make very milky chai, like a lot more milk than water. Some make a chai that's very like very dark and very very caffeinated. So you're gonna, as you make chai yourself, you're gonna figure out what you like and feel free to experiment. But I'll make chai the way I usually would make it. The only change I'm making today is that I'm going to be using soy milk instead of regular milk. But it's best with regular milk. I think my family is horrified that I'm using soy milk in chai, but that's what I have at home. So I'm gonna, use what we have, as Alessandra was just saying. Okay, so I'm gonna take the phone and put it so that you can see the cooktop. Is that good? Okay. All right. So we have our pot and we have a kind of a range of like things to add. Here's the ginger. Here's lemongrass. We don't need a whole lot, but I have some in my garden, so I just clipped some. Here's the chai. It's just tea leaves, and if you are ever at an Indian store, this is what the loose tea looks like in the container. I'm gonna start with some water, and the thing about my cooking is that there's no recipe, so I didn't even measure the water that I'm using, but it's probably about half a cup. We're gonna turn it on. So I'm gonna turn it on to really low. Just low. What I do is grate the ginger. If you don't have a grater, you can of course cut the ginger in small pieces. Okay. Ginger is pretty spicy. You could use ginger powder. You can use, just keeps a long time in the fridge. Okay. Okay, so that's ginger. Let's do some lemongrass. So I'm cooking the kind of the flavors first so that they have the longest time to do their wonderful flavor thing. This is a cinnamon powder. Actually, it's a mix of cinnamon and cloves. I don't have just regular cinnamon, but I'm gonna use this mixture just a little bit. A little black pepper. Okay, so let that boil. Anybody have any questions so far?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, something.
I think Michelle, you had lemon verbena, right?
Yes, I have lemon
Michelle has
verbena.
lemon verbena in her garden. I think that's okay to use, but don't use a whole lot of it. It's really strong and it'll really overtake all the flavors.
I'll pull some out.
I think Alessandra had a question. Cinnamon stick, I think she said. Alessandra, if you have a cinnamon stick, definitely you can use it.
And if you don't have lemon, can you use lemon rind or can you use?
No, I would just ignore it. Lemon and milk will not work together very well. It'll curdle the milk. So. Okay, so the water is getting warm, but it's not boiling yet. So
I know I'm low too, but I'm sure I have like one or two. I'll get it.
sorry, I can't hear anybody.
It's hard to realize. Well, I love making.
I'm gonna add I'm gonna add like about a teaspoon of tea leaves, okay? About a teaspoon of tea leaves. Oh, I forgot to show you cardamom. So here's cardamom. They're cardamom pods and they have a very particular flavor. I'm not a big fan, so I usually don't add them, but if you like cardamom, you can dump one in there. The water is boiling now. So we're gonna add the milk. Add the milk and let it boil. I'm going to go ahead and add some sugar.
Bhavna, what kind of sugar are you using?
I like a Toro Bindo sugar. I don't know what's special about it. It's like between a brown and a white. But any sugar works. I've never tried honey, but I've tried many other sugars. Now, the thing that is very, maybe some of you may not have it, is the strainer. It goes on top of your cup like this, and you strain the tea in there. So maybe some of you have one of these that's used to make tea. I imagine you can put the tea leaves in there and put it in the pot. Or you could let the tea sit for a little while so all the tea leaves kind of settle to the bottom. So I don't know how to resolve that particular problem for tea making. Loose tea is really the best tea to use for chai. Now, if you've ever had chai at like Starbucks or one of the places like coffee shops, I think what they do, and I'm not completely sure about this, but I think what they do is that they have this chai powder and they mix the chai powder in either like a latte kind of concoction or just water, and that's the chai. So if you like those chais, this chai is going to get a little bit getting used to because it's just not the same. So it's boiling, and I'm going to let it settle a little bit and boil it a little more. So did you guys see how the color changed from like a really milky, lighter color to a darker color? So that happens as the tea kind of gets a chance to do its magic. And I think we're done. Okay, so I'm gonna let it just settle a little bit before I pour it out.
Bhavna?
Yeah.
We had a question of, can you use a muslin cloth or a fine cloth as a strainer?
Oh, yes, absolutely. Anything to just kind of keep the stuff from getting into your cup. Okay, guys, we have a cup of tea. Okay, I'm gonna taste it just so. It's pretty good. Did anybody else make tea too? Hi, Adu.
Hi, Faye. I did.
Did it. Eleanor did it.
Okay, I tried, but
You did?
I don't know, you'll see.
Okay. Hey, you have a strainer.
I had a question about milk. Is it better to use like a full fat milk, or does it, I mean, I'll use half and half if I can.
No, I mean, you don't need to. I think half and half will be overkill. But look, I know non-fat milk just doesn't work. And 2% is probably the best.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the deal with milk. Now my tea with soy milk is, I'm really liking it. And that's just because I'm used to soy milk. But soy milk would not be a normal thing to use.
I forgot sugar, and my lemon verbena is very strong.
Yeah,
You
lemon
know,
verbena is very
this
strong.
is-
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bhavna, I have a question. Would you potentially let it steep a little bit longer than?
You know, it depends on the kind of tea leaves you use, because the ones from the Indian store, they come in a little package and they're quite strong. So if you let it steep for a long time, you will not sleep for like I will not sleep for like a couple of days. I just don't like my tea like super strong, but it just depends on the tea leaves and how much steeping you want to do before or after boiling.
And then also, if you don't have tea leaves, you could use just tea bags, correct?
You can use black tea bags. Yes.
Right.
I'm
I just cut mine
not
open
sure. Yeah.
and threw it
Yeah.
in.
Black tea bags is totally fine. They will work. How's your tea, Michelle?
I forgot the sugar at first. So it was really medicinal, but now I just added a big chunk of sugar and it's delicious.
Okay.
Very lemony though.
Ah.
I'll cut back next time on lemon. And I didn't have fresh ginger, which I know when I've had yours, that's really the tasty.
Yeah, ginger is the base. If you don't have anything else, as I had said in my list of ingredients, ginger and tea leaves, that's all, and milk is all really you need. So fresh ginger makes a huge difference. How much powdered ginger, Alessandra? You know, I'm not sure.
Deliver these.
Maybe like a quarter teaspoon for like a cup of tea. I would try a quarter teaspoon for a cup of tea.
Just get the last one. There's one more in the sink.
Did anybody else make it?
No, but I will. I'm not near my kitchen.
Oh, did you make it, Chantal? Scott?
Cool.
I'm going to go make mine right now.
That's beautiful. Look at Michelle.
The color looks really nice.
Yeah, the color looks nice.
So, Bhavna, can you hear me?
Yeah.
This is Anna. What kind of tea do you buy when you go to the Indian store? There's a lot.
There's many different brands, but the one that I tend to buy is called Taj, Taj, like the Taj Mahal.
Oh, okay.
Oh, good, Chantal. I'm so glad. That's great.
I'm gonna make it once that we move on here. I'm excited.
Yeah.
Taj.
I like drinking a hot drink on a hot day. I don't know why.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, ours.
Does anybody have chai stories?
I
First
do.
time they had.
Oh, if you can hear
Yeah.
me.
Let's hear it.
Yeah.
Go, Scott.
Oh, okay. No, I was just going to say I've made chai before at home.
Yeah.
You know, kind of the way we did it just now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Based on a recipe from the internet.
Right.
After I came back from a trip to India, I've been there twice. And it's just like you said, it's so much a part of culture over there that you come home and I mean, Chantal knows. I was like, oh, we're going to turn the house upside down. We're going to make chapatis. We're going to make chai. And we did, and we still do.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, ours really needed like a fair amount of sugar just to make it palatable. But I was telling her that my experience in India is that the chai is so sweet, and we're not big sugar drinkers.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, to have it authentic, it's like you need it to have that flavor.
So Scott, how is it different? How is this one different than what you were making before?
That's a good question. I don't know that I used black pepper.
Okay.
And we would have used cardamom, which we did today.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It wasn't taught to me by a friend. How about that?
Oh.
That's a big difference.
Sorry.
Thank
I
you.
also remember, I think my mom mentioning that she would sometimes even add fennel seeds.
Mm.
Because
Right.
yeah, if you have it.
Yeah.
I have
and
fennel.
like one, I usually am not a tea drinker, but I remember having a really nice one. It's quite different for different regions. So when you go, Nathdwara, for example, that you go, like one of the religious places, they actually put in some crushed mint leaves and basil as well in that,
Right.
So it's all as different, comes
So,
out very
yeah, I think to your
flavors.
point, because again, it's so cultural. If you different parts of India will have different people making tea differently.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I think this is like, I
Classic.
think, yeah.
Yeah. This is from our family's recipe, I think.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
So what kind of seeds did she say she put in it?
Fennel.
Fennel. Oh, I love fennel.
And then did you say mint and basil, Aditi?
Yeah.
Or mint or
Basil.
yeah, again, just very little.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the black pepper is really a nice spice in it, though. I can taste it when I've had it before. I can taste that black pepper,
Yeah.
Real, it's astringent almost and lovely to go with the milk.
So what is a traditional way to combine all these spices is you make a powder. You make like a powder in a blender, and you use dry ginger and fennel and black pepper and all those basic spices, and you make the powder, and the powder sits like on a shelf with the tea leaves. And so all you do is put the tea leaves in your hot water, add a little bit of the powder, add milk, and you're done. So I kind of made it a little more elaborate because I don't make the powder, and so I just use kind of the ingredients on their own. But if you go to my home in India, the tea is being made all the time, like there's several times a day people making tea. And so, they're not going to do this whole elaborate setup every time. They just like put the tea in, put the powder in, and you're done. So the powder is again a family recipe, and depends on which part of India you are going to. The powder will be different.
I have a recipe of spiced chai tea that I make and just keep in a can, and it's all the tea and the spices together, and then I just put it in my teapot.
Yeah.
And I do, of course, the loose black tea, and then cinnamon stick, I crush it, whole black pepper, whole cloves, cardamom seeds, which I love, whole allspice, whole anise seed, and candied ginger, and then a little bit of dried orange peel or lemon peel.
Wow. Okay.
Very fancy.
And so I just have that mixed up, and put a scoop of it in my teapot and pour the water over, and I don't put sugar in it.
No.
Because then I do put milk. I make the tea and then I put milk into the tea.
Right.
And for me, the milk, the sugar that's in the milk is enough sugar for me. I don't put sugar in my tea ever.
Right.
So this is my illustrated recipe of it.
Okay, cool.
Oh, wow.
Oh, nice. Lovely.
That's great. Good.
All right.
All right. Well, listen, we can stay in chat, but I'm going to start unrecording us so that the rest of this doesn't. Now you can really talk. Hang on.
I drink a